Marcus Thompson's hand slammed down on the cafe table so hard that coffee cups jumped and conversations died mid-sentence. Every head turned as he rose to his feet, his 6'3" frame towering over the two white men cowering in the corner booth, their phones still recording their smirks frozen in place. "You want to film something?" His voice cut through the silence like a blade. "Then film this." What happened next would expose more than just a cruel office prank. It would unravel secrets, force a reckoning, and prove that sometimes the quietest man in the room has the loudest roar when pushed too far. Before we continue, comment below and tell us what city you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel across America and beyond. Friday, September 13th, 2019. The warehouse floor of Dayton Logistics smelled like cardboard diesel exhaust and 40 years of accumulated industrial grit. Marcus Thompson moved through it with the quiet efficiency of a man who'd spent 6 years learning every corner, every shortcut, every squeaky wheel on every pallet. Jack. Thompson shipment 447 needs to be on that truck in 20 minutes. Marcus raised a hand without turning around, already redirecting 2 workers toward Bay 7. At 42, he'd earned his reputation as the supervisor who never needed to yell, never needed to throw his weight around. People respected him because he respected them first. Simple as that. "Hey, Marcus, got a second?" Brad Mitchell appeared at his elbow, all slicked back hair and cologne that cost more than it should. Marketing department. The kind of guy who called everyone brother but didn't know anyone's actual name. "What's up, Brad?" "Listen, this might sound weird, but..." Brad glanced around like he was about to share classified information. "My cousin Amanda just moved here from Cleveland. She's new in town, doesn't know anybody. She's a good person, you know, smart, funny, works in payroll upstairs." Marcus waited. Brad always took the long route to get to his point. "Anyway, I was thinking you're a stand-up guy. Solid. Would you maybe grab coffee with her this weekend? Nothing crazy, just a friendly thing. Help her meet people." Marcus felt the familiar tightening in his chest. He hadn't been on a date since Angela left. 5 years of focusing solely on work and Isaiah. 5 years of telling himself he didn't have time, didn't have the energy, didn't have the heart for it. "I don't know, Brad." "Come on, man. One coffee. I'm not asking you to marry her. Just show her around a little. You know how it is being new in a city." Marcus did know. He'd grown up in Dayton, but he remembered what it felt like to be on the outside looking in. "Yeah, all right, sure." Brad's face lit up. "Awesome Riverside Cafe Saturday at 2 p.m. I'll text you the details. You're a good man, Marcus. Really." As Brad walked away, Marcus caught Tyler Hughes, Brad's constant shadow, watching from behind a forklift. Tyler turned away quickly, but not before Marcus saw the grin. Something felt off. That evening. "Dad, can I have dinosaur nuggets for dinner?" Isaiah sat at the kitchen table, homework spread out in front of him, pencil tapping against his math workbook. 8 years old and already showing signs of his father's methodical nature, organizing his assignments by subject, checking off completed problems with careful precision. "We had dinosaur nuggets Tuesday, buddy. How about spaghetti?" But dinosaur nuggets are scientifically superior to regular nuggets because of the increased crispy to soft ratio due to the irregular shapes. Marcus couldn't help but smile. "Where'd you learn that?" "Made it up. But it sounds smart, right?" "It sounds like you're trying to get dinosaur nuggets 4 times a week." Isaiah grinned that gap-toothed smile that could melt any resolve. "Is it working?" "Nice try. Spaghetti." As Marcus pulled ingredients from the cabinet, Isaiah set down his pencil. "Dad, are you okay?" "What do you mean? You seem... I don't know. Nervous? You keep looking at your phone." Marcus hadn't realized he'd been doing that. Brad's text sat there unanswered. Riverside Cafe, 2 p.m. Saturday. "You're gonna love her, man. She's great. Just thinking about something at work." "Is it a bad thing?" "Nobody. Not bad. Just knew. Isaiah studied him with those two perceptive eyes. Kids who grow up in single-parent homes learn to read emotions early, learn to gauge their parents' mood, like meteorologists tracking storms. If it's new and scary, Grandma says that means it's probably good for you. Like vegetables. Marcus laughed. Your grandmother said that. She says it every time she makes me eat broccoli, but I think it works for other stuff too. You might be right. That night, after Isaiah had brushed his teeth and picked out his school clothes for Monday, Marcus sat on the edge of his son's bed. Hey, so, remember how we talked about how someday Dad might want to have coffee with a friend? A grown-up friend. Isaiah's eyes went wide. Like a lady friend. Just a friend. A person who happens to be a lady. We're just going to talk. Is she nice? I haven't met her yet, but I think so. Does she like dinosaurs? I don't know. Isaiah considered this seriously. That's important information, Dad. You should find that out. I'll add it to my list of questions. Okay, but Dad, Isaiah's voice got smaller. You're not going to leave like Mom did, right, if you have a lady friend? The question hit Marcus like a fist to the sternum. He pulled Isaiah into a hug tight enough to feel the boy's heartbeat against his chest. Never. You hear me, never. I'm here. I'm always here. Having coffee with someone doesn't change that. Nothing changes that. Promise. Promise. After Isaiah fell asleep, Marcus sat in the living room with the TV on mute, staring at nothing. The apartment was small, 2 bedrooms in a complex that had seen better decades, but it was theirs. Pictures of Isaiah covered the walls, school projects, art assignments. A crayon drawing labeled, "My Dad is a Hero," in wobbly letters. Angela had left when Isaiah was 3. Just walked out one Tuesday morning while Marcus was at work and Isaiah was at daycare. The note had been sitting on the kitchen counter. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. Her phone was disconnected within a week. Divorce papers came through certified mail 3 months later, forwarded from an address in Atlanta. She'd signed over full custody without contest. No fight, no second thoughts, just gone. Marcus had spent a year waiting for her to come back to realize she'd made a mistake. Then another year being angry. Then another year trying to forgive her for Isaiah's sake. By year 4, she'd become more of a concept than a person, the mother his son didn't remember, the wife he'd failed to keep. People at work had talked. He'd heard the whispers in the break room, caught the pitying looks from the women in accounting. What did he do to make her leave? I heard she left him for someone else. Poor kid, growing up without a mother. The black single dad narrative, people couldn't help but write the story for him. Irresponsible, probably cheated, probably didn't help around the house. The unspoken assumption that somehow it must have been his fault. He'd learned to live with it, learned to let it roll off. What mattered was Isaiah. What mattered was showing up every day, being present, being the parent his son deserved. But 5 years was a long time to be alone. Saturday morning. Marcus changed his shirt 3 times. Dad, you look fine. Isaiah called from the living room where he was watching cartoons. Grandma says you're handsome even in your work clothes. Your grandmother is contractually obligated to say that. What does contractually mean? It means she's my mom, so she has to be nice to me. Oh, like how you have to tell me my drawings are good, even when the dinosaurs look weird. Marcus poked his head out of the bedroom. Your dinosaurs always look good. Dad, the last T-Rex I drew looked like a potato with teeth. A very fierce potato. Isaiah giggled, and the sound eased some of the tension in Marcus's shoulders. Carol Thompson. Marcus's mother arrived at 1:30 p.m. to pick up Isaiah. She took one look at her son and smiled. Lord have mercy, you're nervous. I'm not nervous. Baby, you're wearing cologne. You never wear cologne. It's just coffee, Mom. And who's this lady you're having just coffee with? Brad from work set it up, his cousin. She just moved here. Carol's expression shifted slightly, a mother's radar pinging on something not quite right. Brad, that boy who thinks he's God's gift to the workplace. That's the one. And he's setting you up with his cousin. Is that weird? Baby, I don't know, but you be careful. Some people don't have good intentions, even when they smile. It's fine, Mom. It's just coffee. Isaiah appeared with his overnight bag already talking before he'd fully entered the room. Grandma, did you know that Stegosaurus had a brain the size of a walnut, but it was still a successful dinosaur? That means you don't need a big brain to be successful. Is that so? Dad said I should remember that when I don't want to do my homework, but I think he was making a joke. Carol laughed, ruffling Isaiah's hair. Your daddy thinks he's funny. He is funny, just not on purpose most of the time. Hey, Marcus protested. It's a compliment, Dad. Accidental funny is the best funny. After they left, Marcus stood in the empty apartment checking his watch. 1:47 p.m. Riverside Café was 10 minutes away. He should leave now if he wanted to arrive on time. His phone buzzed. Brad. She's so excited to meet you, man. This is going to be great. Marcus grabbed his keys. Riverside Café, 2:00 p.m. The cafe occupied a corner spot downtown, all exposed brick and mismatched furniture, trying hard to be artsy. Marcus arrived at exactly 2:00 p.m., a lifetime of military punctuality, courtesy of his father's influence, even though he'd never served himself. He chose a table near the window with a view of the door, ordered black coffee, checked his phone. 2:03 p.m. The cafe wasn't crowded. A few college students with laptops, an elderly couple sharing a muffin, a woman reading a paperback in the corner, and two men partially hidden behind newspapers at a booth near the back. Marcus recognized them immediately. Brad and Tyler. His stomach dropped. They weren't even trying to be subtle. Brad's phone was propped against the napkin dispenser, angled directly toward Marcus's table. Tyler kept glancing over the top of his newspaper, the sports section held upside down. Marcus's jaw tightened. He pulled out his phone, typed a message. Brad. I can see you. What's going on? He watched Brad check his phone, saw the moment of panic cross his face before the recovery. The quick whisper to Tyler, both of them hunching lower behind their newspapers, like that, made them invisible. No response came. At 2:05 p.m., the door opened. Amanda Reyes walked in. Marcus knew her not well, but enough. They worked in the same building, different floors. He'd held the elevator for her a few times, exchanged the kind of polite nods that coworkers do when they're not quite friends, but recognize each other's existence. She was a big woman. The kind of big that made people look away uncomfortably, made teenage boys laugh, made strangers feel entitled to comment on her body in grocery stores. Marcus had seen it happen once, some guy in the parking lot making a crack loud enough for everyone to hear. Amanda had kept her head down, pretended not to notice, hurried to her car. Now she stood in the doorway of Riverside Cafe, scanning the room with an expression Marcus recognized instantly. Hope fighting a losing battle with dread. Her eyes found him. Something crossed her face. Confusion, then understanding, then something that looked like pain. She walked toward the table slowly, like someone approaching a car accident they don't want to see but can't look away from. Marcus. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Hi. He stood immediately. Amanda. Thanks for coming. She didn't sit. Her hands clutched her purse like a shield, knuckles white. Brad told you he had a cousin who just moved here, didn't he? It wasn't a question. Yeah, Marcus said carefully. And he said his cousin wanted to meet you for coffee. That's what he told me. Amanda's laugh was bitter, broken. His cousin. God, I'm so stupid. Amanda. We work in the same building, Marcus. We've worked in the same building for 3 years. I'm not Brad's cousin. I'm not new in town. Her voice cracked. This is a joke. I'm the joke. She turned to leave. Wait. Marcus's voice came out harder than he intended. Please, sit down. I should go. Amanda. He softened his tone. Please, just give me a minute. 1 minute. She hesitated, looking toward the door like a trapped animal calculating escape routes. Finally, she sat. The chair creaked under her weight, a small sound that seemed to echo in the space between them. Marcus saw her flinch, saw the shame bloom across her face. I'm going to tell you something, Marcus said, leaning forward. And I need you to listen. Can you do that? She nodded, not meeting his eyes. 5 years ago, my wife left me. The words came out flat factual. I came home from work one day and she was gone. Left a note on the kitchen counter. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. That was it. Our son was 3 years old. Amanda's eyes lifted slightly. For a year after that, people at this company talked about me. I'd walk into the break room and conversations would stop. I'd hear whispers. What did he do? I heard she left him for someone else. Probably didn't help around the house. People assumed it was my fault because... He gestured at himself, at his brown skin at 6 feet 3 inches of black man, taking up space in a predominantly white workplace. Because that's the story they wanted to tell. Marcus, I'm so sorry. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm telling you this because I learned something important. You ready? She waited. The only opinions that matter are the ones from people who actually know you, who take time to see who you are, not what they assume you are based on how you look. He paused. Those 2 idiots in the corner booth? Their opinions are worth exactly nothing. Amanda's eyes cut to Brad and Tyler, who were still pretending to read their upside-down newspapers. They set this up to humiliate us, Marcus continued. To humiliate you because of how you look. To humiliate me because they think... He stopped himself, recalibrating. It doesn't matter what they think. What matters is what we do next. What do you mean? I mean, we're already here. We both took time out of our Saturdays. And honestly, he met her eyes directly. I'd actually like to have coffee with you, for real. Not because of them, not because of whatever game they thought they were playing. Because 3 months ago, I held an elevator for you, and you smiled at me, like I'd done something remarkable, instead of just basic human decency. And I thought, that's someone I'd like to know. Amanda stared at him. You remember that? I remember thinking you had kind eyes. I remember thinking you looked like someone who'd be patient with a guy who has no idea what he's doing because he hasn't been on a date in 5 years, and is terrified he's going to say something stupid. A small laugh escaped her, surprised and genuine. So here's my question, Marcus said. Do you want to stay? Do you want to have actual coffee with me, not as part of their joke, but as 2 people who might actually enjoy talking to each other? Because I promise you, Amanda, I'm not in on whatever they planned. I'm just as angry as you are, maybe angrier. She studied his face for a long moment. He could see her weighing it, the risk of staying, the risk of believing him, the risk of opening herself up to more hurt. Okay, she said finally. Yes, let's have coffee. Marcus felt something loosen in his chest. He flagged down the server, a college-age girl with purple hair and multiple piercings. Can we get a caramel latte and a black coffee refill? Coming right up. As the server left, Marcus turned slightly in his chair, making sure his voice would carry to the back booth. You know what's interesting, Amanda? Brad told me his cousin just moved here. But if I'm remembering correctly, you've been with Dayton Logistics for what, 3 years? 3.5, Amanda said, catching on to his angle. 3.5 years. That's a long time to be someone's cousin and never get mentioned, especially since Brad talks about his family constantly. His brother who plays college football, his sister who's a dental hygienist. But somehow, never you. Behind them, there was a rustling sound, newspapers being folded, chairs scraping. It's almost like, Marcus continued, someone made up a story to get 2 people here for entertainment purposes. Like maybe someone thought it would be funny to watch what happened when, all right man, we get it. Brad appeared next to their table, trying to smile like this was all good fun. Tyler stood behind him, looking uncomfortable. Look, no hard feelings, right? It was just a joke. We thought... You thought what exactly? Marcus's voice went quiet. Dangerous. Come on, don't be like that. No, Brad, tell me. Marcus stood slowly, using every inch of his height. You thought what would be funny? Watching me walk out. Watching Amanda get humiliated. Getting it on camera so you could show everyone at work on Monday. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Brad's smile was cracking at the edges. Other cafe patrons were watching now, conversations dying as people sensed the shift in atmosphere. Look, we're sorry, okay? We'll just go... No. Marcus took a step closer. You're going to stand here and explain to Amanda exactly what you planned. Look at her and say it. Marcus, man. Look at her. The cafe went completely silent. Brad's eyes darted to Amanda, then away. We thought it would be funny. You know, He gestured vaguely at her body. Say it, Marcus demanded. You're fat, okay? And Marcus is this uptight guy who's too serious all the time, and we thought it would be funny to see his face when you walked in. We were just messing around. Marcus's fist slammed down on the table so hard that coffee cups jumped, and Amanda's latte sloshed over the rim. You want to film something? His voice cut through the silence like a blade. Then film this. He pulled out his own phone, opened the camera, and turned it to face Brad and Tyler. You're recording this, so let me give you some content. My name is Marcus Thompson. I work in warehouse operations at Dayton Logistics. These two men, Brad Mitchell from marketing and Tyler Hughes from sales, they set up this meeting as a prank. They told me I'd be meeting Brad's cousin, who just moved to town. They told Amanda that I'd asked about her, that I wanted to meet her. They lied to both of us, brought us here to humiliate us, and they filmed it for their entertainment. Dude, put the phone down. Why you were happy to film us? Now everyone can see who you really are. Marcus stepped closer, forcing Brad to back up. You want to know what's really funny? I came here terrified. I haven't been on a date in 5 years. I left my son with my mother and spent an hour trying to figure out what to wear because I was nervous about meeting someone. And you turned that into a joke. We didn't mean... And Amanda. Marcus's voice softened as he glanced back at her. She walked in here hoping to meet someone who saw her as a person. Someone who might actually care about who she is instead of what she looks like. And you turned that into a joke too. Tyler finally spoke up, his voice shaking. Marcus, come on. No. You come on. You explain to everyone watching this video why you thought this was okay. Explain why you thought another person's dignity was worth less than your entertainment. Neither of them had an answer. That's what I thought. Marcus lowered his phone but didn't put it away. Now get out. And if I ever hear about you doing something like this to anyone else, if I hear about you making anyone else feel small so you can feel big, I will make sure every person in this company knows exactly who you are. Brad and Tyler left without another word, practically tripping over each other in their rush to get to the door. The cafe remained silent for another beat. Then the elderly couple in the corner started clapping. The woman with the paperback joined in. Within seconds, the entire cafe was applauding. Marcus felt his face grow hot. He wasn't looking for recognition, wasn't trying to be a hero. He just wanted Brad and Tyler to understand what they'd done, to feel even a fraction of the humiliation they'd intended to inflict. He turned back to Amanda, who was crying but smiling too. I'm sorry, he said, sitting down heavily. I didn't mean to make a scene. Are you kidding? She wiped her eyes, laughing through tears. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Marcus, you stood up for me. No one's ever done that. It was the right thing to do. Most people don't do the right thing when it costs them something. What did it cost me, 2 guys who aren't worth my time? Amanda reached across the table, putting her hand over his. Her touch was warm, grounding. Thank you, she said softly. Thank you for seeing me. Marcus turned his hand over, lacing his fingers through hers. I see you, Amanda. I see you. And for the first time in 5 years, sitting in a cafe with a woman he barely knew, while strangers applauded around them, Marcus felt something he'd almost forgotten existed. Hope. Not the desperate kind that grasps at anything, but the quiet, steady kind that says, maybe, just maybe, good things are still possible. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "How's it going, baby?" Marcus looked at Amanda, at her tear-streaked face, and genuine smile at the way she held his hand like it was something precious. He typed back, "Better than I expected. Much better." The server appeared with their drinks, fresh ones, the originals, having been casualties of Marcus's table slam. "These are on the house," she said, grinning. "That was the most badass thing I've seen all month, maybe all year." "Thanks," Marcus said. As she walked away, Amanda took a sip of her latte and looked at him over the rim of her cup. "So," she said, "Brad mentioned you wanted to know about me. What do you actually want to know?" Marcus thought about it. Thought about all the surface-level questions people ask on first dates. Where are you from? What do you do? What's your favorite movie? All the ways people try to build connection through facts and trivia. But what he really wanted to know was deeper than that. "Tell me about something you love," he said. "Something that makes you lose track of time when you're doing it." Amanda's eyes lit up, the kind of light that comes when someone asks a question no one's bothered to ask before. "I bake," she said. "Elaborate cakes mostly. I taught myself through YouTube videos and a lot of trial and error. Last month I made a castle cake for my niece's birthday. 4 layers fondant turrets, tiny edible flags. Took me 2 full days, but when I brought it in and saw her face..." She trailed off, smiling at the memory. "That's what makes it worth it. Creating something beautiful that makes people happy." "That's amazing. I can barely manage box brownies without burning them." "It's all about following instructions and being patient, which I imagine is kind of like raising a kid. If kids came with instruction manuals, parenting would be a lot easier." They both laughed, and the conversation began to flow naturally, the kind of easy back and forth that only happens when 2 people are actually listening to each other instead of waiting for their turn to talk. Outside, the afternoon sun shifted lower, painting the cafe in golden light. Inside, 2 people who'd come expecting humiliation found something neither had anticipated. Connection. Real, honest human connection. And in the corner booth where Brad and Tyler had sat just 30 minutes earlier, a forgotten phone continued to record, capturing not a prank, but something far more powerful. 2 people choosing to see each other's humanity. 2 people refusing to let cruelty define them. 2 people discovering that sometimes the best things in life start with someone standing up and saying, "No, not today, not to us." The video would go viral by Monday morning. But that part of the story was still to come. For now, Marcus and Amanda just talked, and talked, and talked. 3 hours passed without either of them noticing. The server had stopped by their table twice to ask if they needed anything else, and both times Marcus and Amanda had waved her off without really seeing her. The cafe was starting to fill with the dinner crowd, couples on date nights, families with restless children, a book club gathering in the corner, but Marcus barely noticed. "So wait," he said, leaning forward with genuine interest. "You're telling me you made a 3-tiered wedding cake for your sister without any professional training? Just YouTube. And about $200 worth of failed attempts in my kitchen." Amanda's face was animated now, all traces of earlier tears gone. "The first time I tried fondant, I ended up with something that looked like wrinkled elephant skin. My niece told me it looked like grandma's arms." Marcus laughed, a real laugh, the kind that came from his chest. How old was she? 6, brutally honest age. "Tell me about it. Last week, Isaiah asked me why my forehead has so many lines. I told him they're called wrinkles, and they come from wisdom. He said they look more like someone drew on my face with a pencil." Kids don't lie. No, they really don't. Amanda stirred her latte, which had long since gone cold. Tell me about him. Isaiah. What's he like? Marcus felt the familiar warmth that always came when someone asked about his son. The kind of warmth that said this person actually cares. This isn't just polite conversation. He's 8 going on 40. Smart as hell, which sometimes works against him because he overthinks everything. Last month, he spent 2 hours trying to figure out the most efficient way to organize his toy dinosaurs. Ended up creating a whole classification system based on diet, time period, and size. That's incredible. That's exhausting. Try explaining to him why he still has to go to bed at 8:30 when he's clearly solved complex organizational problems that would stump most adults. Amanda laughed. Does he know about today? About this? Marcus checked his phone. 4:47 p.m. 3 missed texts from his mother. All variations of, "How's it going?" and "Should I feed Isaiah dinner?" He knows I had coffee with someone. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it in case... He trailed off. In case it went badly. In case I messed it up. Which, given how it started, seemed pretty likely. You didn't mess anything up, Marcus. You were... She paused, searching for the right word. You were perfect. Is that weird to say? That's probably weird to say. It's not weird. And for the record, you weren't exactly hard to talk to yourself. A comfortable silence settled between them, the kind that happens when 2 people realize they're enjoying each other's company and don't need to fill every second with words. Then Amanda's expression shifted, something uncertain crossing her face. Can I ask you something, and you can tell me if I'm overstepping? Yeah, of course. Your wife, Angela. Do you... She hesitated. Do you still love her? Marcus sat back, considering the question. 5 years ago, it would have destroyed him to answer. 3 years ago, it would have made him angry. Now it just made him tired. No, I don't think I do. I think I loved who I thought she was, who I needed her to be. But the woman who walked out on our 3-year-old son without saying goodbye, I don't know that person. And I don't think I want to. That's a hard thing to accept. It was. For a long time I kept thinking she'd come back, that she'd realize she made a mistake. Then I got angry and wanted her to come back just so I could tell her what a terrible person she was. He rubbed his jaw. Eventually I just let it go. Not for her, for me, and for Isaiah. Because holding on to that anger was like drinking poison and expecting her to get sick. Amanda nodded slowly. My ex-husband used to tell me I'd be pretty if I just lost weight. Said it like he was doing me a favor, like he was the only man who could see past my appearance to the real me underneath. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. Took me 2 years after the divorce to realize that was abuse. That someone who loved me wouldn't make me feel like a before picture waiting to become an after. How long ago? 4 years. No kids, thank God. Though his mother still sends me Christmas cards with diet book recommendations tucked inside. You're joking. I wish I was. Last year it was some keto thing. Year before that was intermittent fasting. This year I'm expecting whatever new torture method is trending. That's insane. That's family. Amanda took a breath. But you know what? It doesn't hurt anymore. It used to feel like someone was pouring salt in an open wound every time. Now it's just sad. Sad that they can't see me as anything other than a problem that needs fixing. Marcus reached across the table again, took her hand. You're not a problem, Amanda. You're just a person. A person who deserves to be seen and valued exactly as you are. Her eyes welled up. How do you do that? Do what? Say exactly what I need to hear without it sounding like a line or like you're trying too hard. Because I mean it, and because 5 years of single parenting taught me that honesty is easier than remembering what lies you told. She squeezed his hand. I'm really glad Brad and Tyler are idiots. Me too. Marcus's phone buzzed insistently. His mother again. Baby, it's almost 5. Should we go ahead with dinner plans, or are you still occupied? He typed back. Still here. Can you keep Isaiah for a few more hours? The response came immediately. Hours plural. Well, well, well. Yes, take your time. We're making cookies. Everything okay? Amanda asked. Yeah, my mom's got Isaiah. They're baking. She sounds wonderful. She is. Raised me and my two sisters mostly on her own after my dad died. He was a Marine, died in a training accident when I was 12. She never remarried, just poured everything into making sure we had what we needed. He smiled. She's going to love you. Amanda's eyebrows shot up. That's a big assumption for a first date. Is it though? I'm pretty sure I already know how this is going to go. Oh, really? And how's that? Marcus leaned back, pretending to think hard. Well, we're going to finish our coffee. Then I'm going to walk you to your car because that's what my mother taught me to do. Then I'm going to ask if I can see you again, and you're going to say yes, because we're both having way too good a time to pretend otherwise. Then I'm going to go home and tell Isaiah about you, and he's going to ask 47 questions about whether you like dinosaurs, and if you're nice, and if you're going to be my girlfriend. And what are you going to tell him? That you're very nice, that I don't know your position on dinosaurs yet, and that girlfriend is a big word that we don't use on the first date. Smart answer. I have my moments. He paused. So, am I right about seeing you again? Amanda pretended to consider it, tapping her chin thoughtfully. I don't know. I'm a very busy woman. I have cakes to bake, Netflix shows to watch, a cat who demands attention. You have a cat? His name is Mr. Bingley. He's orange and has one eye, and I love him more than most people. Mr. Bingley, like Pride and Prejudice. Her face lit up. You know Pride and Prejudice? My mother made me read it in high school, said it would make me a better man to understand how women think. Did it work? Well, I'm sitting here having a great conversation with a beautiful woman instead of running away like Brad and Tyler probably expected, so I'd say yeah, it worked pretty well. Amanda blushed, actually blushed, and Marcus felt something warm settle in his chest. When was the last time he'd made someone blush? When was the last time he'd wanted to, okay, she said softly. Yes, I'd like to see you again. Tomorrow? That's fast. I'm 42 years old and I haven't been on a date in 5 years. I don't have time to play games or wait 3 days to call like some dating manual says I should. Tomorrow's Sunday. I know. Isaiah and I usually do pancakes and cartoons in the morning. You could come over, meet him, see if you can handle breakfast chaos. Marcus, that's meeting your kid on the second date. That's serious. I know. And if it's too much too fast, I understand. But here's the thing, Amanda, Isaiah is my whole world. If someone can't handle him being the center of my life, then this doesn't work anyway. I'd rather find that out sooner than later. She studied him for a long moment. What if he doesn't like me? He'll like you. He likes everyone. Last week he made friends with the checkout lady at the grocery store and invited her to his birthday party next month. And if I don't like him? Marcus's expression went serious. Then this conversation ends right here. Isaiah comes first. Always. I wasn't testing you. I wanted to hear you say it. Why? Because the kind of man who puts his kid first is the kind of man worth knowing. She took a breath. Okay, tomorrow. Pancakes. But I'm bringing the supplies because I'm guessing your pantry is full of dinosaur-shaped everything and very little actual baking ingredients. You would be correct. They stood both reluctant to end the afternoon, but knowing they had to. Marcus walked her to her car, a sensible Honda Civic with a bumper sticker that read, "I'd rather be reading." Literary nerd, he asked. Unashamed. She unlocked her door, but didn't get in. Marcus, about earlier. What you did. Standing up to Brad and Tyler like that. I need you to know that was the bravest thing I've ever seen someone do. For me. For anyone. It was the right thing. Most people don't do the right thing when it costs them something. It didn't cost me anything. It cost you your reputation as the quiet guy who never makes waves. By Monday morning, everyone at Dayton Logistics is going to know what happened. Marcus shrugged. Let them know. Maybe it'll make other people think twice before they pull something like that. Amanda stood on her toes and kissed his cheek soft and quick, and gone before he could fully register it. Thank you, she whispered, for seeing me. Then she was in her car pulling away, leaving Marcus standing in the parking lot with his hand on his cheek like a teenager after his first kiss. He pulled out his phone and called his mother. She answered on the first ring. Well, can you keep Isaiah tonight? I need to clean the apartment. It went that well, huh? She's coming over tomorrow, for pancakes. I need to make sure the place doesn't look like a tornado went through it. His mother laughed. Baby, I've been waiting 5 years for this phone call. Yes, Isaiah can stay. And Marcus, yeah, Mom, I'm proud of you. For trying. For opening yourself up again. I know that wasn't easy. It was terrifying. The best things usually are. Now go clean that apartment. And buy some flowers for the table. Not grocery store flowers, go to that little shop on 3rd Street. Get something nice. Mom, it's just pancakes. Nothing is just anything when it matters. Trust me. After they hung up, Marcus drove home in a daze. The apartment felt emptier than usual, without Isaiah's constant chatter, without the background noise of cartoons or the endless questions about whether T-Rexes could swim or why clouds don't fall down. He cleaned for 3 hours straight, vacuumed, scrubbed the bathroom, changed the sheets even though they were clean, because what if somehow Amanda ended up seeing his bedroom, and why was he even thinking that on the first date? At 9 p.m., his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Amanda. Your number was on the text from Brad. Hope that's not creepy that I saved it. Just wanted to say thank you again for today. And I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Even though I'm terrified. Marcus typed back. Not creepy at all. I'm terrified too. Isaiah says terror means it's good for you. Like vegetables. Your kid sounds wise. Too wise. It's concerning. What should I bring tomorrow? Besides pancake supplies. Just yourself. And maybe a willingness to answer questions about dinosaurs. He's very passionate about dinosaurs. I'll study up tonight. Get my paleontology facts straight. He's going to love you. Marcus stared at that last text for a moment, before hitting send. It felt too soon to say something like that. But it also felt true. Her response came a minute later. I hope so. Good night, Marcus. Good night, Amanda. He fell asleep with his phone on the pillow next to him, a smile on his face, feeling like maybe, just maybe, life was about to get a whole lot better. The next morning, Marcus woke to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. His mother, baby, call me. Something happened. His sister, have you seen Facebook? His coworker James, bro, you're viral. And about 30 messages from numbers he didn't recognize, all variations of the same thing. You're a hero. That video is everywhere. Way to stand up to those jerks. Video. What video? Marcus opened Facebook with a sense of dread. The top post on his feed was a video titled, Man Destroys Office Bullies Who Set Up Cruel Prank. It had been posted at 11 p.m. the night before by someone named Jessica Martinez, the purple-haired server from Riverside Café. The video had 2.3 million views. Marcus's hand shook as he pressed play. The footage started with him and Amanda sitting at the table talking. The audio was muffled but audible. Then it cut to the moment Brad appeared, Marcus standing, his voice sharp with anger. You thought what would be funny, watching me walk out, watching Amanda get humiliated. The camera had caught everything. His face, Brad's panic, Tyler's uncomfortable shuffling. And then the moment Marcus slammed his fist on the table, the moment that would become a meme by noon. You want to film something? Then film this. The video showed Marcus pulling out his own phone, turning the tables, making Brad and Tyler explain themselves. It showed the cafe erupting in applause. It showed Amanda crying and smiling at the same time. The comments were overwhelming. This man is a king. If my man doesn't defend me like this, I don't want him. Someone find this guy and give him a medal. Brad and Tyler are trash humans. and then buried about 50 comments down someone had posted. Update: Brad Mitchell and Tyler Hughes both work at Dayton Logistics in Ohio. Here's their LinkedIn profiles. Marcus felt his stomach drop. This wasn't just a viral video. This was a wildfire. His phone rang. His mother. "Have you seen it?" she asked without preamble. "Just did." "Baby, the news stations are calling. Channel 7 wants an interview. The Dayton Daily called asking for a statement." "What? How do they even have your number?" "Someone posted your name in the comments. People found your Facebook. It's linked to mine. Marcus, this is everywhere." "Mom, I wasn't trying to." "I know, baby, I know. But that doesn't matter now. What matters is how you handle this. Have you talked to Amanda?" "Not since last night." "Oh God, Amanda. She's probably being hounded too." "Then call her, right now. Make sure she's okay." Marcus hung up and immediately dialed Amanda. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again. Voicemail. On the third try, she answered. "Marcus?" Her voice was shaking. "Have you seen—" "I just saw. Amanda, I'm so sorry. I didn't know anyone was still recording. I didn't think—" "My phone has been ringing since 6 a.m. My sister called crying because she saw me on Good Morning America." "Good Morning America, Marcus. They did a whole segment about workplace bullying and showed our video." "Are you okay?" Silence. Then, "I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. I'm scared, but I'm also—" She paused. "I'm also kind of amazed. Is that weird? People are saying nice things about me. Strangers are calling me brave. Someone started a GoFundMe to send me on a vacation." "They what?" "It's up to $15,000. I didn't ask for it. I don't even know who started it. But people are donating because they said I deserved something good after what Brad and Tyler tried to do." Marcus didn't know what to say. This was beyond anything he'd imagined when he'd confronted Brad and Tyler yesterday. "What do we do?" Amanda asked. "I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Together. Are we still on for pancakes?" She laughed, a slightly hysterical sound. "You still want me to come over after all this? Why wouldn't I? Because your life just got turned upside down, and it's my fault." "Amanda, listen to me. This is not your fault. Brad and Tyler did this. Not you, not me, them. And if anything, maybe some good comes out of it. Maybe other people will think twice before pulling something like this. Maybe someone else won't have to go through what we went through." "You're a better person than I am." "I doubt that. So, pancakes. 10 a.m. You still coming?" Another pause. Then, yes, I'll be there. Bring your appetite. Isaiah makes them the size of dinner plates. After they hung up, Marcus sat on his couch and stared at his phone. The video now had 3.1 million views. It had been shared 78,000 times. News outlets were reporting on it. BuzzFeed had written an article titled, "This Single Dad's Response to Workplace Bullies Will Restore Your Faith in Humanity." His life had changed overnight, and he hadn't even had breakfast yet. At 9:45 a.m., Isaiah burst through the door, Carol following behind with his overnight bag. Dad, Grandma said you're on the news. She said you're famous. Are you famous? Do famous people still have to eat vegetables?" Marcus scooped his son into a hug, breathing in the familiar smell of kid shampoo and whatever maple syrup incident had happened at breakfast. "I'm not famous, buddy. Something I did just got recorded and a lot of people saw it. Grandma showed me. You were really loud. You never get loud. Sometimes people need to be loud when something isn't right." "Were those men being mean to that lady?" "Yes." "That's not nice. I don't like them." "Me neither." Carol set down the overnight bag and looked at her son with a mixture of pride and concern. "How are you handling all this?" "Honestly, I have no idea. Amanda's coming over in 15 minutes for pancakes, and I'm trying to pretend this is normal." "Is she okay?" "She's overwhelmed. We both are." Do you want me to stay? Help with breakfast? No. I think we need to just be normal for a minute. Just the three of us. Before the world gets any crazier. Carol kissed his cheek. Call me if you need anything. And Marcus, what you did was right. Don't let anyone make you question that. After she left, Marcus and Isaiah started on pancakes. Isaiah insisted on helping, which meant flour ended up on every surface and eggshells had to be fished out of the batter twice. Dad, what's the lady's name, the one who's coming over? Amanda. Does she like dinosaurs? I don't know yet. You'll have to ask her. What if she doesn't? Can we still like her? Of course. People don't have to like all the same things to like each other. Isaiah considered this while stirring batter with intense concentration. Okay, but it would be better if she liked dinosaurs. Most things would be better if people liked dinosaurs, buddy. At exactly 10 a.m., the doorbell rang. Marcus opened the door to find Amanda standing there with 2 grocery bags, her hair pulled back, wearing jeans and a sweater that looked soft and comfortable. I brought blueberries, she said, and chocolate chips, and real maple syrup, and butter, and, Amanda, breathe. She took a breath. Sorry, I'm nervous. Me too. From behind Marcus, Isaiah's voice piped up. Are you the lady from the video Dad said you're nice but he didn't say if you like dinosaurs? Amanda looked past Marcus to where Isaiah stood in the kitchen doorway, wooden spoon in hand, batter dripping onto the floor. She smiled, genuine and warm, and a little shaky. I do like dinosaurs, she said. Especially Parasaurolophus. They're underrated. Isaiah's eyes went wide. You know Parasaurolophus, most people only know T-Rex. Well, I'm not most people. Dad, Isaiah stage whispered. I like her. She can stay. And just like that, the nervousness broke. Amanda laughed. Marcus laughed. Even Isaiah laughed, though he probably wasn't entirely sure why. As Amanda came inside, set down her grocery bags, and immediately got pulled into a detailed conversation with Isaiah about whether velociraptors could actually open doors like in Jurassic Park. Marcus felt something settle into place. The video was still out there. The news stations were still calling. The internet was still buzzing. But right here, right now, in his small apartment with pancake batter on the floor, and an 8-year-old arguing dinosaur facts with a woman he'd only known for 24 hours, everything felt exactly right. Sometimes the best moments in life happen in the quiet spaces between the chaos. Sometimes standing up changes everything. And sometimes, just sometimes, the world throws you into the spotlight exactly when you're ready to step into it. Even if you don't know it yet. The pancakes were enormous and slightly burned on one side because Isaiah had insisted on flipping them himself, resulting in what he called extra crispy edges, and what Marcus called a learning experience. Amanda ate 3 of them anyway, drowning them in the real maple syrup she'd brought, listening to Isaiah explain why Stegosaurus plates were for temperature regulation and not defense, even though that seemed less cool. So if they weren't for fighting, Isaiah said, gesturing with his fork, what did they do when T-Rexes attacked them? Well, Stegosaurus lived in the Jurassic period and T-Rex lived in the Cretaceous period, so they never actually met, Amanda said, cutting her pancake into precise squares. Isaiah's mouth dropped open. He turned slowly to Marcus. Dad, did you know that? I did, actually. Why didn't you tell me? You never asked. I've been asking dinosaur questions for like 3 years. You never asked that specific question. Isaiah turned back to Amanda with renewed awe. Are you a paleontologist? No, but I read a lot, and I watch a lot of documentaries when I can't sleep. Why can't you sleep? Isaiah. Marcus warned gently. What? It's just a question. Amanda touched Marcus's hand across the table. It's okay. I don't sleep well sometimes because my brain won't turn off. It thinks about things that already happened, or things that might happen, and it's hard to make it stop. Isaiah nodded seriously. Dad calls that anxiety. He says everybody has it sometimes, but some people have it more. I have it about math tests. Math tests are scary, Amanda agreed. Right? Because what if you studied the wrong things? What if there's a question about something you forgot? What if you freeze up and can't remember anything, even though you knew it yesterday? Exactly. What if everyone's looking at you and waiting for you to fail? They locked eyes across the table, a moment of perfect understanding, passing between an 8-year-old boy and a 40-year-old woman who'd both spent too much time being afraid of invisible judges. Marcus felt something catch in his throat. He'd dated twice since Angela left brief uncomfortable coffee meetings that ended with mutual agreement that it wasn't going to work. Both women had smiled politely at Isaiah, asked perfunctory questions, and clearly couldn't wait to leave. Neither had seen him. Not really. But Amanda was sitting here talking to his son about anxiety and dinosaurs like it was the most natural thing in the world. Like Isaiah's thoughts mattered, like his questions deserved real answers. Isaiah's phone, actually, Marcus's old phone that Isaiah used for games, and calling Grandma buzzed on the table. He grabbed it, read something, and his eyes went huge. Dad, Tommy's mom saw you on Facebook. She says you're a hero, and can Tommy come over today to meet you? Marcus and Amanda exchanged glances. Maybe not today, buddy. We've got company. But Miss Amanda counts as company, and she's here. Different kind of company. Isaiah's phone buzzed again, then 3 more times in rapid succession. Whoa. Emma's dad says hi, and Mrs. Chen from school wants to know if the video is really you. And Dad, why is my phone doing this? Marcus took the phone and saw the problem immediately. Someone had found his Facebook page and posted his profile in the comments of the viral video. People had found Isaiah's account through his friends list, a kid's account Marcus had set up with strict privacy settings that apparently weren't strict enough. Okay, new rule. Phone stays off for today. But what if Grandma calls? Grandma can call my phone. Isaiah looked disappointed but handed it over. Then his face brightened. Does this mean I'm famous too? No. But if you're in a video and I'm your son, doesn't that make me famous by association? Where did you learn the phrase famous by association? YouTube. This kid talks about celebrities and their kids. Maybe less YouTube for a while. Dad, you can't protect me from the internet. It's 2019. The internet is everywhere. It's in our phones. It's in our watches. Soon it'll probably be in our brains. Amanda laughed so hard she nearly choked on her orange juice. I like him. Can I keep him? You'd have to ask him. Can she keep me, Dad? That's not how adoption works. But hypothetically. Hypothetically, you need to finish your pancakes before they get cold. They ate in comfortable chaos, Isaiah dominating the conversation with random facts about various dinosaurs, Amanda encouraging him with questions that showed she was actually listening. Marcus watching both of them and feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Like his family was expanding instead of just barely holding together. His phone rang. He glanced at the screen, Dayton Logistics' main office. I need to take this. He stepped into his bedroom, closed the door. Marcus Thompson. Marcus, hi. This is Janet Morrison from HR. I'm so sorry to bother you on a Sunday. It's fine. What's going on? Have you seen the video? Marcus sat on the edge of his bed. Yeah, I saw it. We need to talk about next steps. Brad Mitchell and Tyler Hughes are being terminated effective immediately. We're prepared to offer you a formal apology. And Marcus, I'm just going to be straight with you. This is a PR nightmare for the company. We need to get ahead of it. What does that mean? It means we'd like you to participate in a press conference tomorrow morning. Show that Dayton Logistics doesn't tolerate this behavior. Show that we support our employees. A press conference. I know it's asking a lot, but frankly, you're the hero in this story. The company needs that right now. Marcus felt a flash of anger. I didn't do this to be a hero. I did it because 2 guys were being cruel. I understand. But the reality is that video has been seen by millions of people. News outlets are covering it. We're getting calls from reporters asking about our workplace culture. We need to control the narrative. And what about Amanda? She's in that video too. We'd like her to participate as well if she's willing. Have you asked her? We're calling her after this conversation. Marcus rubbed his forehead where those wisdom lines or pencil marks, according to Isaiah, were probably getting deeper by the second. Can I think about it? We need an answer by tonight. The press conference is scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow, whether you participate or not. But it would be much better if you were there. After he hung up, Marcus sat in the silence of his bedroom trying to process everything. 24 hours ago, he'd been a guy getting coffee. Now he was supposed to be the face of workplace dignity at a press conference. A soft knock on the door. Amanda peeked in. Can I come in? Yeah. She sat next to him on the bed, close enough that their shoulders touched. Isaiah's watching dinosaur videos on the iPad. I told him I needed to check on you. She paused. That was work, wasn't it? HR. They want us to do a press conference tomorrow. They called me too, 5 minutes ago. What did you say? I said I'd think about it. What did you say? Same thing. They sat in silence for a moment. I don't want to do it, Amanda said quietly. I don't want to stand in front of cameras and have people stare at me. I spent my whole life trying to be invisible. This is the opposite of that. I know. But, she took a breath. But maybe Janet's right. Maybe we need to show people that this isn't okay. That you can stand up. That it matters. You don't owe anyone anything, Amanda. Neither do you. But you stood up anyway. Yesterday, when you could have just left, you stayed. You defended me. You made Brad and Tyler look me in the eye and admit what they did. She turned to face him. Maybe it's my turn to stand up. This is different. Yesterday was one café. Tomorrow would be cameras and reporters and millions of people who might see that standing up is possible. Who might see that they don't have to accept cruelty as normal. Her voice got stronger. Marcus, I've spent 4 years making myself smaller. Quieter. Trying not to take up space because every time I did, someone made me regret it. But yesterday, you showed me that maybe I deserve to take up space. That maybe my dignity matters. Marcus took her hand. It does matter. You matter. Then let's do the press conference, together. Show them that they didn't break us. From the living room, Isaiah's voice called out. Are you guys okay in there? Should I be worried? Because on TV, when adults have serious conversations in bedrooms, someone's usually dying or getting divorced. They both laughed. The tension broke. We're fine, buddy, Marcus called back. Can Miss Amanda stay for lunch? Marcus looked at Amanda. Can you? I should probably go home. Feed my cat. Process the fact that my life turned into a circus overnight. Rain check. Definitely. They walked back to the living room where Isaiah had abandoned the iPad in favor of building something elaborate with blocks. I'm making the cafe where you met, Isaiah explained. See, this is your table. These are the bad guys. And this. He held up a Lego figure. This is you punching the table. I didn't punch the table, I hit it with my hand. It's more dramatic if you punched it. Life isn't always dramatic, buddy. It should be. Dramatic is more interesting. Amanda knelt down next to Isaiah's construction. Can I make a suggestion? Yeah. Maybe add this. She picked up a small Lego flower. Because even when things are dramatic, there should be something beautiful too. Isaiah studied the flower, then carefully placed it on the table between the Lego figures. Yeah. That's good. Thanks, Miss Amanda. You're welcome. When Amanda left 20 minutes later, Isaiah stood at the window watching her car pull away. Dad, yeah. Is Miss Amanda going to be your girlfriend? Marcus joined him at the window. Maybe. Would that be okay with you? Is she going to move in? Whoa, slow down. We just met yesterday. But you like her. I do. And she likes dinosaurs. She does. And she didn't get weird when I asked about her not sleeping. Some adults get weird when kids ask real questions. She's not like some adults. Isaiah was quiet for a moment. Then, is she going to leave like Mom did? There it was, the question underneath all the other questions, the fear that lived in both of them unspoken most days but always present. Marcus pulled Isaiah into a hug. I don't know, buddy. I can't promise what other people will do, but I can promise that I'll never put anyone in our lives who doesn't treat you with respect and kindness. And if Miss Amanda and I keep seeing each other, it'll be because she wants to be here, not because she has to be. Okay. Isaiah pulled back, looking up at his father with those two wise eyes. But Dad, I hope she stays. She seems like she'd be good at making us both less sad. We're not sad. We're not super sad. But we're a little sad sometimes. Like when you look at Mom's picture in your drawer when you think I'm asleep. Marcus's breath caught. You know about that. I'm 8, not stupid. I know you miss her even though she left. It's okay to miss people even when they hurt you. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You just started noticing. That night after Isaiah was asleep, Marcus sat at his kitchen table with his laptop open. The video had reached 10 million views. News outlets across the country had covered it. There were think pieces about workplace bullying, about dignity, about standing up for others. Someone had created a Wikipedia page for him. Someone else had started a Twitter account called Be Like Marcus that posted inspirational quotes about respect. His inbox was flooded. Interview requests from Good Morning America, The Today Show, local news stations, podcasts, magazines. A literary agent wanted to know if he'd be interested in writing a book about his experience. A motivational speaking company offered to represent him. It was overwhelming and surreal and more than a little terrifying. His phone buzzed. Amanda. Can't sleep? How'd you know? Because I can't either. I keep refreshing the video, watching the view count go up, reading comments from strangers who think they know us. Do you regret it yesterday? No, not for a second. I regret that we're now public property. I regret that my face is a meme, but I don't regret meeting you. There's a meme. Several. My favorite is the one where I'm crying and someone captioned it, "When you realize he's actually a good man." It's weirdly accurate. Marcus smiled. I saw one where I'm slamming the table and it says, "When someone disrespects your person." Your person. That's what it said. Am I your person, Marcus? The question hung in the air between them, heavy with possibility. I think you might be. Is it too soon to say that? Probably, but say it anyway. You're my person, Amanda. Good, because you're mine too. And tomorrow when we do that press conference, I'm going to need my person standing next to me. You decided to do it. We decided. Together. That's how persons work. They talked for another hour about nothing important, what Isaiah had said about the Lego café, what Amanda's cat Mr. Bingley had destroyed while she was gone, whether pancakes counted as dinner food or just breakfast food, before finally saying goodnight. Marcus fell asleep thinking that maybe life was like Isaiah's Lego construction. Dramatic and chaotic, and sometimes people slammed their fists on tables, but there was always room for flowers too. Always room for something beautiful in the mess. Monday morning arrived too quickly. Marcus dropped Isaiah at school early, fielding questions from teachers and parents who'd seen the video deflecting requests for interviews, promising Isaiah he'd pick him up on time, and no, he wasn't going to be on TV every day now. The press conference was being held at Dayton Logistics headquarters. Marcus arrived at 9:30, Amanda pulling up in the parking space next to him at the exact same moment. Cosmic timing, she said, getting out of her car. Or we both drive the exact speed limit. Boring but accurate. Janet Morrison met them in the lobby, looking stressed but professional. Thank you both for doing this. The reporters are already here. Local stations, some national outlets. We've prepared statements for you to read." "No," Marcus said. Janet blinked. "I'm sorry. No prepared statements. If we're doing this, we're speaking from the heart. Otherwise, what's the point?" "Marcus, I understand, but we need to ensure that you control the narrative," Amanda finished. "That's what you said on the phone. But this isn't your narrative. It's ours." Janet looked between them, clearly calculating. "Fine, but please try to stay on message. Workplace dignity, standing up for what's right, company values." "We'll talk about what matters," Marcus said. "That's all we can promise." The conference room was packed. Cameras lined the back wall. Reporters filled every chair. The energy was electric and predatory, everyone wanting their piece of the story. Marcus and Amanda sat at a table at the front of the room, Janet Morrison beside them. The Dayton Logistics CEO, Richard Harper, offered brief opening remarks about company values and zero tolerance for harassment before opening the floor to questions. Immediately, hands shot up. "Mr. Thompson, how does it feel to be called a hero?" Marcus leaned toward the microphone. "I'm not a hero. I just did what anyone should do when they see someone being treated with disrespect. Heroes run into burning buildings. Heroes save lives. I just stood up in a café." "Ms. Reyes, what was going through your mind when you realized the date was a setup?" Amanda's voice was steady, despite the tremor Marcus could see in her hands. "Humiliation. Shame. The feeling that I should have known better than to hope someone might actually want to know me." She paused. "But then Marcus showed me that hope isn't foolish, that expecting basic human decency isn't asking too much." "Mr. Thompson, some people online have criticized you for making a scene. What's your response?" "My response is that sometimes making a scene is exactly what needs to happen. We've become so afraid of confrontation, so worried about being polite, that we let cruelty slide. We let people make jokes at others' expense, and we laugh along because making waves is uncomfortable. But you know what's more uncomfortable? Living in a world where people think it's acceptable to treat others as entertainment." "Ms. Reyes, there's been discussion online about your weight. How do you respond to people who say you're being oversensitive about what was just a joke?" Amanda's jaw tightened. Marcus reached over and took her hand under the table. "I respond," she said carefully, "by saying that my body is not a punchline, that my worth as a human being isn't determined by my dress size, and that if you think humiliating someone based on their appearance is just a joke, then you're part of the problem." The room erupted with follow-up questions. Janet tried to regain control, but the reporters were relentless. "Mr. Thompson, you're a single father. How does that factor into your perspective?" Marcus thought about Isaiah watching the window waiting for Amanda's car to pull away, asking if she was going to leave like his mother did. "My son is watching all of this. He's 8 years old, and he's learning what it means to be a good person by watching the adults around him. I want him to learn that standing up for what's right matters more than being liked. That defending someone who can't defend themselves is worth any discomfort it causes you. That being a good man means seeing people's humanity first, everything else second." His voice cracked slightly. His mother left when he was 3, just walked out. And for 5 years people have made assumptions about what that means about me, about what I must have done wrong. But they don't know our story. They don't know us. And yesterday in that cafe, I realized that I was tired of letting other people's assumptions define me, define us. He looked at Amanda. "So no, I'm not a hero. I'm just a man who's tired of watching good people get treated like they're less than. And I hope that video makes even one person think twice before they turn someone else's pain into their entertainment." The room was silent for a beat. Then one reporter in the back started clapping. Another joined. Within seconds, half the room was applauding. Janet looked stunned. The CEO looked pleased. And Marcus just felt tired, like he'd run a marathon on no sleep. The press conference ended 15 minutes later. As they left the building, reporters tried to follow shouting questions, but security held them back. In the parking lot, Amanda turned to Marcus. That was terrifying. Completely. Want to get coffee? Somewhere that's not Riverside Cafe. I'd love to, but I need to pick up Isaiah. Want to come with me? To his school? To see his science project. It's dinosaur-themed. Shocking, I know. She smiled. Yeah, I'd like that. They drove separately, but arrived at Isaiah's school at the same time. Cosmic timing or speed limit compliance, take your pick. Isaiah's teacher, Mrs. Patterson, did a double-take when she saw them. Mr. Thompson? I saw the video. That was... Thank you, Mrs. Patterson. Is Isaiah ready? Actually, could I speak with you for a moment, privately? Marcus's stomach dropped. Is something wrong? No, nothing wrong. It's just, well, Isaiah told the class this morning that his father is a hero who stands up to bullies. And then he gave a very passionate speech about how everyone should treat everyone with respect, regardless of what they look like. He made several kids cry. In a good way, I think. Marcus looked at Amanda, who was trying not to laugh. That sounds like Isaiah. He's a remarkable boy, Mr. Thompson. You should be very proud. When Isaiah came out, he ran straight to Amanda. Miss Amanda, you came. Dad, she came to school. I see that. Did you guys do the press conference thing? Was it on TV? Can I see it? Will I be in trouble if I watch it during school tomorrow? Yes. Yes, probably. And definitely yes, you'll be in trouble. Isaiah grinned. Worth it. As they walked to the parking lot, Isaiah between them, Marcus felt Amanda slip her hand into his. Not for the cameras, not for show, just because. Is this okay? She asked quietly. Yeah, Marcus said. This is perfect. Isaiah looked up at their joined hands and smiled, but didn't say anything. He was learning, Marcus realized. Learning that sometimes the best things don't need commentary. That sometimes it's enough to just be happy. They got ice cream that afternoon, dinosaur-shaped ice cream sandwiches from the grocery store, because regular ice cream was apparently not as scientifically interesting. They sat in Marcus's living room eating them, while Isaiah explained his science project in exhaustive detail. And somewhere out there, the video was still spreading the story, still unfolding the internet, still doing whatever chaotic thing the internet does. But here in this moment, none of that mattered. Here, there was just a man, a woman, and a boy with dinosaur ice cream on his chin, building something new, out of broken pieces. Building a family. 3 weeks after the press conference, Marcus woke up to Isaiah standing next to his bed at 6:15 a.m., fully dressed, backpack already on. We're going to be late. Marcus squinted at his alarm clock. Buddy, school doesn't start for 2 hours. I know, but Miss Amanda said she'd bring donuts this morning, and I want to make sure we're ready when she gets here. She's not coming until 7:30. That's only an hour and 15 minutes away. We need to prepare. Prepare how? Isaiah considered this. I don't know, but being ready is important. Marcus rolled out of bed, his back protesting the movement. 42 was starting to feel like 82 some mornings. He followed Isaiah to the kitchen, where his son had already set out plates, napkins, and orange juice in what appeared to be a very deliberate arrangement. Did you measure the distance between the plates with a ruler? Yes, they're exactly 8 inches apart. That's the optimal distance for comfortable eating according to a YouTube video about proper table settings. You watched a video about table settings. I want Miss Amanda to know we have good manners. Marcus pulled Isaiah into a hug, feeling his son's small frame against his chest, the quick rabbit heartbeat of a child who cared too much about everything. She already knows we have good manners. And even if we didn't, she'd still like us. Are you sure? I'm sure. Because Mom didn't like us, and we had good manners then too. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. They didn't talk about Angela much. Isaiah barely remembered her, and Marcus had worked hard to keep it that way to protect his son from the abandonment that still stung when he let himself think about it. Your mom leaving had nothing to do with you, Isaiah. Nothing to do with manners or dinosaurs or anything you did or didn't do. That was about her, not us. But what if Miss Amanda leaves too? Then we'll be sad, but we'll be okay. Because we're always okay, you and me. Isaiah pulled back, studying his father's face with those disconcerting eyes that seemed to see everything. But it would be better if she stayed. Yeah, buddy, it would be better if she stayed. Amanda arrived at 7:30 sharp with a box of donuts from the bakery downtown, the expensive kind with real maple frosting and bacon crumbles, not the chain store ones. Isaiah opened the door before she could knock. You came? Of course I came. I promised, didn't I? Yeah, but sometimes people promise and then they don't come. Amanda knelt down to his eye level. Isaiah, when I make you a promise, I keep it. Every time. Okay. Every time. Every single time. Even if there's traffic. I'll leave early. Even if it's raining. I have an umbrella. Even if you're tired. I'll drink coffee. Isaiah threw his arms around her neck, nearly knocking her backward. Amanda caught herself wrapping her arms around him, her eyes meeting Marcus's over Isaiah's shoulder. There were tears there. Okay, Isaiah said, pulling back. You can stay. I'm honored. They ate donuts at the carefully arranged table, Isaiah explaining his latest dinosaur theory that velociraptors were actually misunderstood and probably just wanted friends, but everyone was scared of them because of their claws. Like how some people are scared of Mr. Bingley because he only has one eye, Isaiah said seriously. But he's actually really nice, right, Miss Amanda? He's a sweetheart. He just looks intimidating. Exactly. Appearances can be deceiving. That's a big word I learned last week. It's a very big word. And you're absolutely right. After breakfast, Marcus drove Isaiah to school, while Amanda headed to work. In the carpool line, Isaiah unbuckled his seatbelt, but didn't immediately get out. Dad, yeah? Are you going to marry Miss Amanda? Marcus nearly choked on his coffee. What? Why would you ask that? Because you smile different now. Like your whole face means it, not just your mouth. I've always smiled at you. That's different. That's Dad's smile. This is happy smile. There's a difference. When did you become an expert on smiles? I observe. It's a skill. Well, observe yourself to class before you're late. Isaiah opened the door, but paused. Dad? If you do marry her, can I be in the wedding? Because Tommy was in his mom's wedding, and he got to carry a pillow with rings on it, and he said it was really important. If, and that's a very big if I ever get married, you'll definitely be in the wedding. Cool. I'll start practicing my pillow carrying skills. He hopped out of the car backpack, bouncing, shouting goodbye to 3 different friends, before disappearing into the building. Marcus sat in the carpool line, watching other parents pull away, everyone in their own hurry to get to work, to get on with their lives. His phone buzzed. A text from Amanda. Isaiah asked me this morning if I was going to be his bonus mom. Where did he learn that term? Marcus typed back. Probably YouTube. Everything he knows comes from YouTube. What did you tell him? That you'd have to ask him. What did you say? There was a long pause before her response came through. I told him I'd like that very much. Too soon. Marcus stared at the text, his heart doing something complicated in his chest. They'd been seeing each other for 3 weeks. 21 days. That was fast by any standard. But then again, they'd also been thrust into international news coverage together, done a press conference together, dealt with internet fame together. Maybe that accelerated things. Maybe near-death experiences weren't the only thing that bonded people quickly. Maybe public humiliation and standing up to bullies worked too. He typed, "Not too soon. Come over tonight after Isaiah's asleep. We should talk." That sounds ominous? It's not, I promise. Just talk. Okay. What time? 8:30. I'll be there. Work was chaos. The video had brought unexpected attention to Dayton Logistics, some good, some bad. Customers calling to praise the company for its values. Other customers calling to complain that the company had allowed Brad and Tyler to work there in the first place. The CEO had given Marcus a promotion and a raise, moving him from warehouse supervisor to operations manager. His new office had a window. James, his former coworker, and the closest thing Marcus had to a best friend at the company, poked his head in around noon. "You eating lunch, or are you too famous now?" "I was never famous. The video is famous." Same thing. Definitely not the same thing. They walked to the break room, where the afternoon shift was just starting. Several people nodded at Marcus, some with respect, some with the uncomfortable recognition of someone who'd become unexpectedly public. He was still getting used to being recognized, still felt the crawl of anxiety when someone pulled out their phone near him. "How's Amanda handling everything?" James asked, unwrapping his sandwich. "Better than I expected. She got promoted too. Senior accountant. But she's still getting weird comments online. People sending her diet tips. Strangers messaging her about weight loss surgery. People are trash. Some people, not all. Most people. But you're an optimist." "I have to be. I have a kid." James took a bite of his sandwich, chewed thoughtfully. "So are you guys serious? You and Amanda?" "I think so. Maybe. It's complicated." "It's been 3 weeks." "I know. That's fast." "I know that too. But..." Marcus set down his coffee. "But Isaiah already loves her. And I think I might be heading that direction too. And that's terrifying, because what if I'm wrong? What if this is just adrenaline from everything that happened? What if in 6 months we realize we rushed into something, and then I have to explain to my 8-year-old son why another woman left? Or," James said carefully, "what if you're not wrong? What if this is exactly what it looks like? 2 people who found each other at exactly the right moment. That sounds like a greeting card. Doesn't make it less true. Look, man, I watched that video. I saw the way you looked at her, the way you stood up for her. That wasn't adrenaline. That was a man who recognized something worth fighting for. We'd just met. Sometimes you just know." Marcus wanted to argue, wanted to point out all the logical reasons why 3 weeks wasn't enough time to know anything. But the truth was, James was right. He did know. Had known from that first coffee, from the way Amanda talked to Isaiah like he mattered, from the way she didn't run when their lives exploded into viral video infamy. That evening, after Isaiah's bath and bedtime stories and 17 questions about whether pterodactyls were actually dinosaurs or just flying reptiles, Marcus sat on the couch waiting for Amanda. He'd cleaned the apartment, put on a shirt that wasn't wrinkled, tried to figure out what exactly he was going to say. The knock came at 8:32. Amanda stood in the hallway holding a bottle of wine and looking nervous. "I know you said just talk, but I brought reinforcements just in case this is bad talk." "It's not bad talk." "You promise?" "I promise." They sat on the couch, wine poured into mismatched glasses, because Marcus didn't own a proper set of anything. Amanda tucked her feet under her, looking smaller somehow in his space, more vulnerable. "Isaiah asked me this morning about being his bonus mom," she started. "And I told him yes, because in the moment it felt right. But then I spent all day thinking about what that means, about what I'm signing up for. And Marcus, I need you to know I don't have any experience with this. With kids, with being a parental figure. What if I mess it up?" "You won't. You don't know that." "I do, actually. Because you care enough to be scared of messing it up. Bad parents don't worry about that." Amanda took a sip of wine, gathering her thoughts. "My ex-husband used to tell me I'd be a terrible mother, that no child should have to look at me every day and think that's what they might become, that I'd be doing the world a favor by not reproducing." Marcus felt rage flash through him, hot and immediate. "He said that to you?" "Multiple times, and I believed him. For years I believed that he was right, that my body made me unfit for motherhood, that I would somehow damage a child just by existing near them. Amanda. But then I met Isaiah, and he looks at me like I'm just a person, not a before picture, not a problem to solve. Just Amanda who knows about dinosaurs and brings good donuts and keeps her promises. Her voice cracked. And I want to be his bonus mom, Marcus. I want to show up for him every single day. I want to help with homework and go to science fairs and learn all the dinosaur names, but I'm terrified that I'll let him down. That one day he'll look at me and see what everyone else sees. Marcus took the wine glass from her hand and set it on the coffee table. He took both her hands in his. Do you know what Isaiah told me this morning? He said I smile different now. That my whole face means it. And he's right. I do smile different. Because of you. Because for the first time in 5 years, I wake up thinking about something other than just surviving the day. Marcus. Let me finish. When Angela left, she didn't just leave me. She left Isaiah. She walked away from a 3-year-old boy who needed his mother, and she never looked back. And for 5 years, I've been terrified of letting anyone else into our lives, because what if they leave too? What if Isaiah gets attached and then has to lose someone again? He paused, making sure she was really hearing him. But you're not Angela. You're not someone who runs when things get hard. You stood in front of cameras and reporters and you told your truth even though you were terrified. You show up. Every time. That's all Isaiah needs. That's all I need. Someone who shows up. Amanda was crying now, tears running down her face unchecked. I love him, she whispered. I know it's too soon and I know it sounds crazy, but I love that weird, brilliant dinosaur-obsessed kid. And I love you too. God help me, I love you too. Marcus pulled her into his arms, feeling her shake against him, feeling his own tears on his cheeks. I love you too, both of you, and I think... He pulled back to look at her face. I think we should stop pretending this is casual. Stop acting like we're just seeing where this goes. Because I know where it goes. It goes to you moving in. It goes to us building a life together. It goes to Isaiah having a bonus mom who loves him. And if that's too fast, if that's too much, it's not. Amanda kissed him desperate and sure and tasting like wine and tears. It's not too much. It's perfect. They sat on the couch holding each other while the wine got warm and the city got quiet outside the windows. Eventually, they talked logistics. Her lease was up in 2 months. She could move in. Then they'd need to clear space in the closets. Isaiah should have input on how to arrange things. He's going to want your room to have dinosaur sheets, Marcus warned. I can live with dinosaur sheets. And he's going to have questions. So many questions. I'll answer them. All of them. Even the weird ones. There will be weird ones. I'm counting on it. Around 11, Amanda stood to leave. Marcus walked her to the door. Neither of them ready for the night to end, but both knowing it had to. I'll tell Isaiah tomorrow, Marcus said. About you moving in, if that's okay. More than okay. But Marcus, let me be there when you tell him. I want him to hear it from both of us. Tomorrow night dinner. I'll bring the ingredients. We'll cook together. You know I'm terrible at cooking. Then I'll cook. You'll keep me company and taste test. Now that I can do. She kissed him good night, long and sweet and full of promise. Then she was gone, her taillights disappearing down the street, and Marcus was alone in his apartment that suddenly felt too small for all the happiness expanding in his chest. He checked on Isaiah, found him sleeping with his arms wrapped around a stuffed triceratops, his face peaceful in a way that made Marcus's heart hurt with love. He took a photo not for social media, just for himself, just to remember this moment before everything changed again. His phone buzzed. Amanda, thank you for tonight, for being honest, for not running away when I said I love you. Marcus typed back. Thank you for saying it first. I was terrified. We're both terrified. We're just doing it together. That's better, though. Shared terror. Definitely better. Good night, Marcus. I love you. I love you too. Sleep well. He fell asleep thinking about the future, about Amanda's things. mixed with his things about Isaiah having a mother figure again, about building something real and lasting from the rubble of two broken lives. The next evening, Amanda arrived at 6 with grocery bags full of ingredients for what she promised was foolproof lasagna. Isaiah helped her cook, standing on a stool at the counter, carefully layering noodles and cheese, while Amanda explained the importance of even distribution. If you put all the cheese in one spot, that spot gets too cheesy and the other spots get jealous, she said seriously. Isaiah nodded. Cheese jealousy, that makes sense. Marcus watched them work together, the easy rhythm they'd already developed, the way Amanda never talked down to Isaiah, never dismissed his questions or observations. This was right. He knew it in his bones. Over dinner, Isaiah told them about his day. A pop quiz on multiplication tables, that he'd aced a kid named Michael, who'd brought a fossil to show and tell a substitute teacher who didn't know that Stegosaurus plates weren't for fighting. She said they were armor. Can you believe that armor? I had to correct her in front of the whole class. How'd she take that? Marcus asked. She said I was very knowledgeable. Then she gave me extra credit for teaching the class something new. So I guess it worked out. Amanda smiled. Sounds like you're going to be a teacher someday. Or a paleontologist. Or a teacher who teaches about paleontology. Can you do both? You can do anything you want if you work hard enough. That's what Dad says too. Well, your dad is a smart man. After dinner, they sat in the living room, Isaiah on the floor with his homework, Amanda and Marcus on the couch. Marcus caught Amanda's eye, raised his eyebrows in question. She nodded. Hey buddy, can you take a break from homework for a minute? We want to talk to you about something. Isaiah looked up immediately, worry crossing his face. Is it bad? Are you guys breaking up? Because if you are, I just want to say that I think you're making a mistake and you should reconsider. Isaiah breathed. It's not bad, it's actually really good. Oh, okay. What is it? Marcus and Amanda exchanged glances. She reached over and took his hand. Miss Amanda's going to move in with us, Marcus said. In about 2 months, if that's okay with you. Isaiah's face went through several emotions in rapid succession. Surprise, joy, anxiety, then back to joy. Like live here, in this apartment with us. Yes, Amanda said. But only if you're comfortable with it. This is your home too. You get a say. Will you have your own room? I'll share a room with your dad. Is that weird? Isaiah considered this. Will you still do dinosaur donuts on Tuesday mornings? Every Tuesday morning. And can Mr. Bingley come too? He'll have to. I can't leave him alone. Will we be a family? Amanda's eyes filled with tears. Yeah, Isaiah. We'll be a family. Isaiah stood up, walked over to them, climbed onto the couch between them. He took Amanda's hand and Marcus's hand, holding them both. Okay, she can move in. But we need to make some rules. Rules? Marcus tried not to smile. Yes, important rules. First, no kissing in front of me if it's gross. Second, we still do pancakes on Sundays. Third, Miss Amanda has to learn all the dinosaur names, not just the easy ones. And fourth, he paused dramatically. Fourth, she has to promise never to leave without saying goodbye. Even if she's mad, even if things are hard, she has to promise. The room went very quiet. Amanda was crying openly now. She pulled Isaiah into a hug, holding him tight. I promise, Isaiah. I will never ever leave without saying goodbye. And I'll try very hard never to leave at all. Is that good enough? Isaiah pulled back, studying her face the way he studied his father's, looking for truth in the small details. Yeah, he said finally. That's good enough. They ordered ice cream from the delivery app, dinosaur-shaped ice cream sandwiches, because regular ice cream was for regular families, and they were decidedly not regular. They ate it watching a documentary about the Cretaceous period, Isaiah providing commentary on everything the narrator got wrong. Amanda and Marcus just happy to be together. Later, after Isaiah was asleep, Amanda stood in the doorway of what would become their bedroom. This is real, she said softly. This is actually happening. having second thoughts. No, just amazed. 3 weeks ago, I walked into a cafe expecting humiliation. Now I'm moving in with a man I love, and his brilliant son, and a life I never thought I'd have. You deserve this, Amanda. You deserve all of it. So do you. Marcus pulled her close, breathing in the scent of her shampoo, feeling her heartbeat against his chest. We're going to be okay, he said. All three of us. We're going to be more than okay. Promise. I promise. Every single time. And standing there in the doorway of their future, holding the woman he loved while his son slept peacefully down the hall, Marcus believed it. Believed that sometimes good things happen to people who've been broken. Believed that standing up for what's right can change everything. Believed that family isn't just blood. It's the people who show up, who keep promises, who choose you every single day. Brad and Tyler had tried to make them a joke. Instead, they'd created something beautiful, something real, something worth fighting for. And that Marcus thought was the best revenge of all. Not anger, not bitterness, just building something so good that the people who tried to tear you down become irrelevant. Just living so well that their cruelty becomes nothing more than a footnote in a much bigger, much better story. A love story. A family story. A story about standing up. And it was only just beginning. 2 months passed in a blur of boxes and bubble wrap, and Isaiah's running commentary on proper furniture arrangement based on feng shui principles he'd learned from a YouTube video that was definitely not meant for 8-year-olds. Amanda's apartment had been small, her possessions modest, but somehow the act of combining 2 lives into one space felt monumental. The couch should face east, Isaiah insisted, standing in the middle of the living room with his arms crossed. That's where the energy flows. The couch faces the TV, Marcus said, moving it for the 3rd time that morning. That's where the football flows. Dad, you're not taking this seriously. You're right. I'm not taking furniture feng shui seriously. Amanda emerged from the bedroom carrying an armload of books, Mr. Bingley weaving between her legs like he was trying to trip her. The one-eyed orange cat had adjusted to the move faster than any of them, claiming Isaiah's bed as his primary territory within the first hour. Isaiah, honey, why don't you help me organize these books? We can arrange them by subject and then alphabetically within each category. Isaiah's face lit up. Can we make a card catalog system too? We absolutely can. Miss Amanda, you understand me. She ruffled his hair as he passed. I understand that organizing things is satisfying. It makes chaos feel manageable. Marcus watched them work together, Amanda patient with Isaiah's exacting standards, Isaiah explaining his classification system with the seriousness of a librarian. Mr. Bingley supervised from the arm of the couch, his one eye tracking their movements. Your cat judges me, Marcus said. Mr. Bingley judges everyone. It's his way of showing love. That's a weird way to show love. You haven't seen weird yet. Wait until he brings you a dead moth at 3 a.m. That's when you know you're family. The apartment felt different now. Fuller, more alive. Amanda's baking supplies crowded the kitchen cabinets. Her shoes lined the hallway. Her toothbrush sat next to his in the bathroom like it had always belonged there. Small changes that added up to something bigger. Something that felt like home. Marcus's phone rang. His mother. How's the move going, baby? Chaotic. Isaiah is trying to feng shui the living room. That child has too much access to the internet. Tell me about it. How are you doing with all this? His mother was quiet for a moment. You want the truth. Always. I'm happy for you. Happier than I've been in years watching you. But I'm also scared. Because I remember what it did to you when Angela left. I remember picking up the pieces. And if Amanda leaves, she won't, Mom. You can't know that. I do know it. I know it the same way you knew Dad was the right one. The same way you knew you could raise 3 kids on your own after he died. Some things you just know. Carol laughed, but it sounded watery. When did you get so wise? I have an 8-year-old who teaches me things daily. Speaking of, can I talk to my grandson? Marcus called Isaiah over, handed him the phone. Isaiah immediately launched into a detailed explanation of his book organization system, complete with subcategories and cross-referencing. Amanda joined Marcus at the window, slipping her hand into his. Your mom okay with all this? She's working on it. She worries. That's her job. She's a mom. Were your parents okay with it? Amanda's expression clouded. My dad said congratulations. My mom sent a text that said, Are you sure, with 7 question marks. My sister is thrilled. 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Your mom's worried about you getting hurt. My mom's worried about me embarrassing her. There's a difference. She squeezed his hand. But it doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for us. Isaiah hung up the phone and returned it to Marcus. Grandma wants to come over for dinner tomorrow. She says she needs to make sure Miss Amanda knows what she's getting into. Oh, God, Marcus muttered. It'll be fine, Amanda said, but her voice had gone slightly higher. My mother can be intense. I can handle intense. I survived a viral video. I survived Brad and Tyler. I can survive dinner with your mother. Isaiah tugged on Amanda's sleeve. Grandma's really nice. She just asks a lot of questions. Last time Dad brought a lady home, Grandma asked her what her 5-year plan was, and the lady cried and left. Isaiah. What? It's true. You said honesty was important. There's honesty, and then there's telling stories that make Dad look bad. But it's an accurate story. Amanda laughed. It's okay. I appreciate the warning. I'll prepare my 5-year plan. The next evening, Carol Thompson arrived at 6 sharp carrying a casserole dish and a look that Marcus recognized from his teenage years, the one that said she was withholding judgment, but only barely. She hugged Isaiah, shook Amanda's hand with more formality than necessary, and surveyed the apartment like a general inspecting troops. You've rearranged everything. Isaiah had opinions about energy flow, Marcus said. Of course he did. Carol set down her casserole. Amanda, thank you for having me over. I know this might feel like an ambush. It's not an ambush, Mom. It's dinner. Hush, Marcus. I'm talking to Amanda. Carol turned to face her fully. I'm going to be direct because that's who I am. My son has been through hell. That boy has been through hell, and I need to know that you understand what you're taking on. This isn't just dating. This is a family that's been broken and put back together with duct tape and determination. Mom. Amanda held up her hand, stopping Marcus. Mrs. Thompson, I appreciate your directness, and your right to be protective. If I were you, I'd be asking the same questions. So here's my answer. I know exactly what I'm taking on. I know Marcus works long hours. I know Isaiah needs structure and patience, and someone who won't make promises they can't keep. I know there are going to be hard days and complicated feelings and moments when we all question if this is working. But I also know that I love them, both of them, and I'm not going anywhere. Carol studied her for a long moment. Isaiah had stopped setting the table and was watching the adults with worried eyes. Isaiah, baby, come here, Carol said. He walked over slowly. She pulled him into a hug. Do you like Miss Amanda? Yes, Grandma. Does she treat you well? She brings dinosaur donuts every Tuesday, and she knows all the period names, and she doesn't get mad when I ask too many questions. That's important. Your questions are good questions. That's what she says, too. Carol released Isaiah and turned back to Amanda. My grandson's endorsement means everything. If he trusts you, then I'll work on trusting you too. But Amanda, if you hurt them, I won't. Let me finish. If you hurt them, you'll answer to me. And I raised 3 kids on a secretary's salary in the 1990s. I know how to make someone's life very difficult. Mom, that's enough, Marcus said firmly. No, it's okay. Amanda met Carol's eyes. I understand. And I give you my word. I'm here for the long haul. through dinosaur phases and middle school drama and whatever else comes. I'm not Angela. I don't run when things get hard." The room went silent. Even Isaiah seemed to be holding his breath. Then Carol smiled a real smile that transformed her face from stern to warm. "Good. Now let's eat before the casserole gets cold." Dinner was easier after that. Carol asked about Amanda's family, her job, her plans for the future. Amanda answered honestly, not trying to impress, just being herself. By the time dessert came, a chocolate cake Amanda had made from scratch. Carol was laughing at Amanda's story about Mr. Bingley's attempt to catch a bird through a closed window. "He ran full speed into the glass," Amanda said. "Just boom. Sat there dazed for a minute, then tried again. Same window, same bird, same result." "That cat is not bright," Isaiah observed. "He has other qualities. Determination, for instance." "Determination isn't useful if you keep running into windows. Sometimes you need to run into a few windows before you learn which ones are solid." Marcus caught the look Carol gave Amanda, appreciation for the life lesson tucked into the cat story. His mother was warming up, slowly but definitely warming up. After Carol left, Amanda helped Isaiah with his homework while Marcus cleaned up the kitchen. He could hear them through the wall, Amanda explaining long division, using dinosaur examples. Isaiah actually understanding it when she put it in terms of distributing velociraptors evenly across hunting territories. "You're really good at this," he heard Isaiah say. "At math. At being here, with us. Some adults feel like guests even when they're family. You feel like you belong." "That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, Isaiah." "It's just true. I observe things. It's a skill." Marcus smiled, rinsing plates, thinking about how much had changed in 2 months. The video had faded from viral sensation to archived internet history. Brad and Tyler had disappeared from public consciousness. The news cycle had moved on to other stories, other outrages. But this quiet evening with homework and dishes and a one-eyed cat sleeping on the couch, this was what mattered. This was what lasted. His phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "Marcus Thompson. This is Sarah Mitchell, Brad's sister. Can we talk?" Marcus stared at the message, his stomach dropping. Nothing good ever started with "Can we talk" from a stranger whose last name was Mitchell. He stepped into the bedroom, closed the door, typed back, "About what?" The response came quickly. "About my brother. About what he did. I saw the video. I've been trying to get him to apologize, but he won't. I just wanted you to know that not everyone in our family thinks what he did was okay. Some of us are ashamed." Marcus sat on the bed, not sure how to respond. The anger he'd felt that day in the cafe had faded, replaced by something closer to pity. Brad had lost his job, his reputation become a cautionary tale. That felt like enough punishment. "I appreciate you reaching out," Marcus typed. "But I don't need an apology from Brad. What happened led to good things for me. I'm okay with letting it go. You're a better person than I'd be. But thank you for not pressing charges or suing or any of the things you had every right to do. My brother is an idiot, but he's still my brother." "I understand. Take care of yourself, Sarah." He deleted the conversation, not wanting Amanda to see it and worry. The past was past. No point in dragging it into their present. When he emerged from the bedroom, Isaiah was getting ready for bed, Amanda supervising toothbrushing with the seriousness of a dental hygienist. 2 minutes, she said, timer on her phone. "All surfaces. Don't forget the molars." "I never forget the molars," Isaiah said around a mouthful of toothpaste. "Yesterday you forgot the molars." That was a one-time incident. After Isaiah was in bed, Amanda and Marcus sat on the couch with tea. Mr. Bingley sprawled across both their laps like a furry bridge. "Your mom doesn't hate me," Amanda said. "I told you she wouldn't. You told me she might. There's a difference. She was testing you. That's what she does." "Did I pass?" "You passed with flying colors. The chocolate cake didn't hurt." "I believe in strategic baking." Marcus kissed her temple, breathing in the scent of her shampoo, feeling the steady rhythm of her breathing. I got a message tonight. From Brad's sister. Amanda tensed. What did she want? To apologize on his behalf. I told her it was fine, that we'd moved on. Have we? Yeah, I think we have. He paused. That day changed everything, but not because of them, because of you, because of the choice we made to not let their cruelty define us. Sometimes I still can't believe it happened, that we happened. Best prank ever. She laughed, swatting his arm. That's terrible. But accurate. They sat in comfortable silence, the kind that only happens when two people are genuinely at ease with each other. Outside, the city hummed with evening traffic. Inside, their small family slept and breathed and existed in peace. Marcus's phone buzzed again. This time it was James. Turn on Channel 7, now. He grabbed the remote, flipped to the local news. The anchor was mid-sentence. Workplace harassment case that went viral earlier this year has resulted in a lawsuit. Brad Mitchell and Tyler Hughes are suing Dayton Logistics for wrongful termination, claiming they were fired without due process. Amanda grabbed his hand. They're suing? Apparently. The news report showed footage from their press conference clips from the viral video, a statement from Brad's lawyer claiming his client had been unfairly targeted and made a scapegoat for broader systemic issues within the company. This is insane, Amanda whispered. Marcus's phone rang. Janet Morrison. I'm assuming you're watching the news. Just turned it on. The company's legal team wants to meet with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Can you make it? Do I have a choice? Not really. Amanda should come too. You're both named in the suit. After he hung up, Marcus sat staring at the TV, watching his own face flash across the screen, hearing the anchor speculate about the case, about whether Brad and Tyler had grounds for wrongful termination. This isn't happening, Amanda said. We're past this. We moved on. They didn't. What do we do? Marcus turned off the TV, pulled her close. We do what we've always done. We tell the truth. We stand up. We don't let them make us small. I'm scared. Me too. But we're scared together. That's better. Isaiah appeared in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. Why are you guys still awake? It's past grown-up bedtime. Come here, buddy. Isaiah climbed onto the couch between them, fitting perfectly in the space they made. Mr. Bingley relocated to the arm of the couch, judging them all equally. Something wrong? Isaiah asked. Marcus exchanged glances with Amanda. They'd agreed to always be honest with Isaiah, to not hide the hard stuff. Remember those guys from the café, Brad and Tyler? The mean ones who tried to make you feel bad? Yeah. Well, they're trying to make trouble again. They're saying it wasn't fair that they got fired. Isaiah frowned. But they were mean. Mean people should get consequences. You're right. But sometimes mean people don't think they were mean. They think everyone else is being too sensitive. That's dumb. Very dumb, but we're going to handle it. As a family. Okay. Okay. Isaiah leaned against Amanda's shoulder. Miss Amanda, are you going to leave because of this? What? No. Why would you think that? Because things are getting hard again. And sometimes when things get hard, people leave. Amanda wrapped her arm around him. Isaiah, listen to me. I made you a promise. I promised I would never leave without saying goodbye. But more than that, I promised to show up for you, through the easy stuff and the hard stuff. This is just noise. It doesn't change anything about us. Promise. Every single time. They sat together on the couch, the three of them, and one judgmental cat facing whatever came next, the only way they knew how. Together. The legal meeting the next morning was tense and technical, full of terms like discovery process, and depositions, and potential damages. The company's lawyers assured them The case had no merit that Brad and Tyler were grasping at straws that everything would be fine. But Marcus had lived long enough to know that everything will be fine was what people said when they couldn't promise anything at all. The lawsuit dragged on for 3 months. Depositions and document requests and lawyers calling at inconvenient times. The video went viral again this time, with commentary about frivolous lawsuits and the audacity of workplace bullies playing victim. Through it all, life continued. Isaiah's science fair project on pachycephalosaurs won second place. Amanda got another promotion. Marcus's operations team exceeded quarterly targets. They celebrated birthdays and holidays and regular Tuesdays with dinosaur donuts. The day the lawsuit was dismissed, Marcus got the call during his lunch break. The judge had ruled in favor of Dayton Logistics, citing clear policy violations and appropriate termination procedures. Brad and Tyler's case had been thrown out with prejudice, meaning they couldn't refile. It was over. Actually over. He called Amanda immediately. "We won. We won, dismissed with prejudice. It's done." She laughed, the sound bright with relief. "Can I tell Isaiah when he gets home from school?" "Let's tell him together. Family meeting over pizza." That evening they gathered around the kitchen table, pizza boxes open, Mr. Bingley begging for pepperoni, Isaiah trying to fold his pizza slice according to structural integrity principles he'd learned online. "So we have news," Marcus said. Isaiah looked up, suddenly serious. "Good news or bad news?" "Good news. The lawsuit is over. Brad and Tyler lost." "Does that mean they can't make trouble anymore?" "They could try, but it would be much harder now. The judge said what they did was wrong, and the company was right to fire them." Isaiah considered this while chewing his pizza. "Good. Mean people shouldn't win." "Sometimes they don't," Amanda said. "Sometimes standing up for what's right actually works." "Like when Dad stood up in the cafe." "Exactly like that." Isaiah smiled, then went back to his pizza engineering project. The crisis that had loomed over them for months was over, and to an 8-year-old, that meant it was time to focus on more important things, like whether triangular pizza folding provided better structural support than cylindrical. Later, after Isaiah was asleep, Marcus and Amanda stood in the kitchen washing dishes together, falling into the comfortable rhythm they'd developed over months of cohabitation. "I can't believe it's really over," Amanda said, handing him a plate to dry. "The lawsuit is over, but the story keeps going." "What story?" "Ours. The one that started with a cruel prank and became something beautiful. The one where 2 broken people found each other and built a family." "That's very poetic for a logistics manager." "I contain multitudes." "Apparently." She dried her hands, turned to face him. "Marcus, thank you." "For what?" "For standing up that day, for seeing me. For building this life with me, even when it got complicated and scary and people were trying to tear us down." Her eyes filled with tears. "For giving me a family when I thought that wasn't possible for someone like me." "Someone like you." Someone who'd been told they were too much and not enough at the same time. Someone who'd learned to make themselves smaller to fit into spaces that weren't designed for them. She touched his face. "You made space for me. Real space. Not the kind where I have to shrink to fit. The kind where I can be exactly who I am." Marcus pulled her close, holding her tight, feeling her heart beat against his chest. "You make space for us too. For me and Isaiah. You didn't have to love a package deal. You didn't have to take on a grieving widower and his dinosaur-obsessed kid. But you did. You chose us. Best choice I ever made." They stood there in the kitchen, dishes forgotten, holding each other while the world spun on outside their small apartment. Somewhere out there, Brad and Tyler were licking their wounds. Somewhere out there, people were still watching the viral video, still commenting, still sharing. But here in this moment, none of that mattered. Here there was just love. Just family. Just the quiet triumph of refusing to let cruelty win. And that Marcus thought was everything. That was the whole point. not the viral fame or the press conferences, or even the vindication of winning the lawsuit. The point was this: standing in a kitchen with the woman he loved while their son slept peacefully down the hall and a one-eyed cat judged them from the counter. The point was showing up, every single day, through hard things and easy things and all the messy, complicated things in between. The point was choosing love over fear, choosing dignity over humiliation, choosing to stand up even when sitting down would be easier. The point was building something so good that the people who tried to destroy you became irrelevant. And they had built it, together. From coffee shop confrontation to family, from viral video to quiet evenings washing dishes, from strangers to everything. The prank had failed, but the love story? The love story was just getting started, and it would last long after the video views stopped climbing, long after the news cycle moved on, long after Brad and Tyler faded into cautionary tale obscurity. Because some things are stronger than cruelty. Some things last. Love lasts. Family lasts. The choice to show up lasts. And that made all the difference.